Welcome back to the Weekly Yarns. For those of you new, my name's Barry. Well, what have we been getting done this week? Well, if you pop back to the beginning of the week, you'll see that we'll pull the pinion shaft out of the casting. I really need to crack on and get those broken studs drilled out. I just simply haven't had time yet. So, I suppose the simple answer is we haven't advanced that side of the final drive any further yet. Haven't cleaned it, haven't inspected it, haven't done anything with it. A couple of reasons for that. Gemma's been away on holiday, so we've been lending a hand up at the farm, a little bit, not a lot, we've been lending a hand up at the farm doing the feeding and bits and pieces. And I've got a bit of video we'll pop in later on of us out and about in the fields, feeding and looking after the sheep. Another reason why I got sidetracked into the pressure washer. The last lot of frosts we had, the pressure washer stopped pressure washing. And when you connected to the water, it was just simply pouring water out underneath. So, the simple, obvious solution is you probably burst a hose with the frosts. So I thought, right, bring the pressure washer home where all my tools are, we'll get all the covers off it, get a look at it, see what's gone on, make an evaluation as to whether we're going to repair it or whether it's going to just go the distance the way it is and someone else can do a spares or repair on it. Got all the covers took off, and as I say, I'll take you for a walk around it, and this is the big reason why nothing else is getting done this week. Took all the covers off this pressure washer, found that the raw water strainer inlet, which is a metal body one-way valve with a plastic cap on it, and the only thing I can think the plastic cap is for is a pressure relief, so that if something like this happens, the plastic cap pops instead of popping pipes and metalwork. And that's what's happened. We'll pop the cap off this raw water valve. So I've been on eBay, had a look around. You cannot buy the plastic bits. What you've got to buy is the entire body, the valve body, with the plastic already on it. So we're just waiting for Gemma to come home off holidays. We'll see what she wants to do with this pressure washer. We'll then get it. If she wants it repaired, we'll get the parts ordered, we'll get it put back together, we can get it pressurised. I've pulled the burner out, the igniters and the nozzle, and I've looked at most of the fuel system up to date. As I say, when I take you for a walk, we'll have a little talk about what we've done. And anybody out there who has done pressure washers, I need your help, please. I need your help to know about this fuel pump before I start pulling it to bits, as to what to expect inside, what can be done and what can't be done, what needs to be put right, alright? But let's see, we'll take you through that. But anyway, getting back to the final drive. So I get an email of Rod K, North Island, New Zealand, regarding the pullers. And he did say Davy Brown made a proper pulling tool, which was a tube of steel which went over the drive shaft. One end was blanked off and it had a very fine thread nut and bolt in that end. The other end had a pair of legs on it that you fastened to your brake drum and used a fine threaded bolt on the other end against the end of the drive shaft to jack it out. And at the same time, Campbell, South Island, New Zealand, the great lads, he's New Zealanders, he's Kiwis, they're brilliant lads. Campbell sent us a picture of, and I'll pop it up here for you, of a puller he made, which was the same, but different. But it did exactly the same job. It had two steel legs coming down to a pair of braces on the bottom that you bolted to the brake drum, and again, nothing bolted at the top to extract it. Because after I had pulled the final drive to bits and in the second part of the video where we pull the clip out, the rusted in clip, you then begin to realise by using, oh, I've got an itchy nose. By using jacking bolts to go down and push against the casting, you're pulling against the driving shaft and the bearings are actually lying, and what you are pulling against is that big circlip that's behind the oil seal below the brake drum. That's where you're putting your pressure. So with Rod and Campbell's style of puller, the style of puller that I made initially that didn't quite work for me because we couldn't get the brake drum to level, you're pulling against you're squeezing the drive shaft through the brake drum, therefore the pressures are contained between the drive shaft and the brake drum. With jack and bolts you are transferring those pressures to this circlip. And as I say, it was later on when you start looking at the principles of how it was constructed and that you realise that you're actually pushing against the circlip. But it would have been better if the puller had worked, wouldn't it? Because then you weren't exerting any pressure on anything other than two great big lumps of steel. One's a drive shaft, one's a brake drum. You know what I mean? So it would have been better to have done that. So I did make a list of what I would class as consumables. So what we're going to need is item number 8, the circlips, 3 1/4 inch internal diameter, part number K13042. Item number 5, the seal, and it's got in the list, it's classed as a reference 5. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure someone will tell me what that means, but it's part number K623455, and it's probably been superseded by 623409. The larger seal, item number 25, K15550, and O-rings, item number 21, K623537, 6.5 inch internal diameter. Now it also has in the schedule list the actual cross section of this. For me O-rings, before I go to the tractor suppliers, I'm going to try a company that I've used before called Seals R Us on eBay, and I'm going to email them with a list of the seals, the lip seals and the O-ring seals that we need to put this back together, because it might just be that we can get these a little bit cheaper somewhere else. Bolts 3/8 UNC, 1.1 long. What I've done is I've ordered 20 brand new bolts, and we'll have a look, because what I might even do is, instead of just cleaning up the breather bolt, I might just make 2 new breather bolts and replace every single bolt on the caps on the back of them. So that's it, isn't it? So we need circlips, 1, 2 seals, 1, 2 O-rings and a bag of bolts. Right, as I say, we haven't done any inspections yet. We haven't done anything else other than that yet. I need to, if the weather would cheer itself up a bit, we would need to crack on and see if we can get those broken studs removed and the ones that are frozen in, that are part of the stabilizer mounts. We need to get those out and cleaned up so we can get everything put right on that. Right, so let's take you for a quick walk. We'll have a look at this pressure washer that we've been busy with all week. I'll also put up after it some video of us out and about on the farm, looking after the sheep and bits and bobs, and hopefully we'll take you through the tests that I've done on the items that I have from the pressure washer. And I'm hoping that someone out there has done this before, can tell me, because I've never ever in my life opened one of these up before. this is a massive learning curve for me. So if you have done anything with pressure washers, this is an electric powered, diesel heated pressure washer. So if you've done anything like this before and you can give me any advice and guidance, either pop it in the comments or drop us an email go to the About tab on my homepage. My email address is on that page. Drop us an email, even if you want to drop us an email with your telephone number on, I'll give you a bell and we can have a chat about what possibly can be going wrong with this pressure washer. Right, let's pop out, have a look and see what we've been up to, eh? Right, so we're outside here. We've got some bits and pieces on our bench, but we'll show you the pressure washer on that first. However, most important things first. We were decorating on Tuesday, I think it was, with wallpaper in the wall in the sitting room. And I just had a bit of a feeling because I'd left this garage door open. So I come out in the garage and guess who was sitting up there? She gets her backside up there because this last year she wanted to build a nest up here. So Betty the blackbird, I'd left the door open as I say her, Betty the blackbird came in backside up there, and I'm saying to her, no, you can't stop in here, come on, out, where you go, you can't stop in the garage. So the way she went on the fence, she's never really left over the winter. She's been always here in and around the garden. So's the hubby. They've been here basically all winter. So what we've done is we have to close the garage door permanently. I've opened the letterbox up again so she can get into the letterbox. She has got a wooden bungalow that we built there for her. As you see, we've got our letterbox open for her there. We've got our pots of food back down there for her. She's kicking about this morning. She's been out, she's had a couple of jugs of worms off her. Hubby's just been on the floor there before. So they're making it quite obvious this is where they're coming back this year in the nest. We need to make sure they don't get into here. Because we've got to be able to secure this place. You know what I mean? We cannot leave it open. Right. Now, back to the real things while we're here. So this is what pressure washer. As I say, what I've done is I've took all the covers off here, the side covers, the top cover. I pulled the burner unit out from here. I've took the fuel filter out, which was absolutely rancid from there. You'll not be able to see down there, but it's nipping clean in there. Now, what happens here is water supply comes in through this pipe, through the fascia on the back here. You've got the strainer, fits in here, comes through to a bent pipe with a banjo on it, and it comes up and goes into the pump in the back of here. And I did read somewhere that you need the hands of a 3-year-old, and they're right. You really do need the hands of a 3-year-old to get into the back of here. So, these were left disconnected. This is the electronics for the igniter pack, was left down here. The earth fitting off the top had been disconnected and just left lying down on the bottom. There's 2 fuses in here. One's a 1 amp and one's 1/4 amp, and you access them through these little 1/4 turn to release screws in here. Turn them 1/4 turn to pop out. Tested both of them, they're fine. Now apparently this was blowing those fuses on a regular basis for whatever reason, I don't know, but it was blowing the fuses. So anyone knows why it would blow those fuses, or what those 2 fuses there, F2 and F, whatever they protect, if you can let me know what the circuits are. This is a Daytona. Wait a minute, let's have a look at it. There. That's what it is. A Daytona pressure washer. So on this side, coming from fuel outlet from the tank, I have removed the filter. If somebody can tell me what is in behind here, what am I going to expect to find if I can whip this cover off? Because I've had the pipe off here up to the burner, flushed that out. I've cracked the burner nozzle open, didn't need to clean that out. It was nip and clean inside. The little hole in the end's not blocked, you can blow through it. Right, so let's have a look at what we've got here. We've got burner lid, minus the electrodes and the injector nozzle, which is there. Let's unwrap this for you. Tell you what, let's put yours up here. So what we've got here, we've got the injector nozzle. If we take the nozzle out carefully, there's nothing else inside here except a very fine mesh filter, which is clean. Down in the hole in there is nice and clean. There's nothing else in there. You can blow through it, so that's clean. That was extremely tight in there, so it'll have to go back nice and tight. Wrap that up to keep that clean. That sits through your centre hole on your cap. Your igniters pop in through here. There's our igniters. I have tested these with my multimeter, just in case the ceramics had fractured and it was earthing out and causing it to pop a fuse. But so I've tested it electronically from here to here for continuity. I've checked it from here to here, across this plate for continuity. There obviously is no reading across here, but there are readings from here to here. They're fine, as far as I can gather. Okay, as far as I can ascertain, they are good. Our HT leads, I've checked those. Now, again, I checked them on continuity. They are fine, but I have known HT leads test okay, but then break down under load. So again, let's know your thoughts, but I have known that happen in the past. Our igniter block, that plug I showed you before, fits in there. The two cables plug into there. The details of that. Which can we get it there? That's better, isn't it? There's the details of that. And as I say, I found a company on eBay who can sell us parts. So we're going to have a talk to them, but it would be just nice to know anything, like any information that would be handy for testing pieces with. This is the bit that's broke. That cap fits into that body, and then the cap obviously should have been on there, shouldn't it, like that. Now that's a strainer in there, and I think realistically this machine only gets fed water from the tap, so that could, if we needed to, but we can get that, I can get a hold of that, but that could be missed out of the system. I think this is only in when you start using like the suction rows that you pop into like a marina or a pond, or where you're using possibly contaminated, dirty or river water. And the strainer is obviously to prevent any rubbish getting through from the inlet through to the pump, isn't it? But I can get this 30 quid, 30-ish pounds for one of these. Metal body, plastic cap. Right, this is the best bit. Look at the state of this. look at the muck in here. Now, call me old-fashioned, but if you were the fitter turning out to service this machine or fault find this machine, would you not have changed that? Because I've got a feeling that that filter is, you can blow through it, but I don't know how much suction that pump's got, how much power it's got to pull the fuel through. Has it that's been causing everything, the strain? Is that what's causing it not to ignite properly? I don't know. That's what banjo pipe. Look, that goes onto there. Then comes up to the pump. Now, again, that there is fixed. I thought that would have been like a rotating nut, so you could put that into your pump and then just tighten that up, and you can't. You have to put that onto that and then insert it behind the pump and put the banjo bolt in. So that's joy and fun when you come to try and get that back out and pop it back in. A bag of nuts and bolts as per usual. So as I say, guys, if anybody has got any information, advice, guidance on this Daytona pressure washer, please get in touch. It's a brilliant tool when it's working. Absolutely brilliant tool when it's working. But we just need to be able to know how and where to test components. And we need to know how we can get some spare parts. As I say, I can get a hold of my valve. That's not a problem. I need to know how to test this igniter. So, if anybody out there has got any advice or information or assistance with this pressure washer, please get in touch. For instance, what's this all about? It sees solid like, and it's obviously disconnected. That was, they were tucked in there. So, anyways. Right, so we're out today, delivering a little bit of hay. I will turn around, but I'll probably get wiped out with the sun. So as you see, probably a little Davy Brown fixed. Put a carb on it, just keep us warm. And before anybody puts in the comments about using mobile phones on the road, this is a private track. This is a driveway down to our fields. I know it's tarmac, but it's reasonable quality tarmac. And so that's probably got a better surface on than the A1 at the minute. So we've got a little bit of hay there. Windows is a bit grubby, aren't they? Could have done with being, never mind, here's a bit. Could have done with the windows being washed a touch. Beautiful blue sky today. Almost like a Queensland sky. Except the temperatures is probably 30 degrees difference. They'll all be coming home again before long, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think 5 or 6 weeks now for the lambing, and then that's when all the hard work starts again, isn't it? Because then you've got to move them all over again. Oh, that's a big, great big frog in the puddle there. We'll get him out. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Size of him. Look at him. Massive. We'll get him out, because we certainly didn't want to be squishing them with the tyres, do we? So we'll just get him out of there. Where the hell can we put him? Look at the daft little bugger. Got his hands over his eyes because he's frightened. Daft little bugger. Right, just moving along, drop 2 more bales up at the top here, and then we'll, look at that blue sky, just beautiful today, man, isn't it? Watch the trees, nearly checking the trees down there with one. Doing a bit of lumberjacking at the same time, see, multitasking, me, multitasking. Grab that one off the other side at the back there. Trying to give them a little bit of hard feed just to top them up. I cannot believe the warmth today out there. Just what a lovely day. Oh, we must have 1 or 2 more up the hill somewhere there. Oh yeah, they come, look, out of the line side. Up there behind that electrical pylon. Look at them coming running out the fields there. Come on, you little tingers. Through behind those trees there, there's another field. And there's a passageway through to a further field down there over the top of the tractor and the pylons and the trees. We can Gemma calls it the line side because it obviously backs onto the LNER railway line. Oh, half the girls are in that field. Johnny on a quick count. There we go, train going past there, look. Right, well that's it for this week then, isn't it? As I say, anybody's got any advice, guidance, information about that pressure washer, drop us some comments, send us an email with your telephone number on, let's get in touch so you can give us some advice and guidance on what we need to do to get this pressure washer back up and running. I find that it's invaluable to have the heat side of this going, as it takes most of the paint off anyway, and what's left we'll put a bit of paint stripper on and then we'll hit it with a wire brush and then we'll give it another heat cycle through the pressure washer, assuming we get it finished. So please, if you've done anything like this in the past, drop us a comment, let us know. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for visiting. As always, your time is greatly appreciated when you pop in to see what we're doing. Any advice and guidance will be greatly received. Please get in touch either with the comments or my email, either or. As I say, any advice will be helpful. So, don't forget, don't overthink it, it's only nuts and bolts. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one if we get this finished. Bye now.